Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all things above and in between. I am one of your hosts, Obsessive Reader Love, welcoming you to the Own Tempo Pokemon podcast. As always, I am joined by...
I'm Loreweaver.
And...
I'm Teddy.
So, today, in our slightly delayed episode, due to all of us having mental health issues, don't worry about it.
Executive dysfunction.gif.
Indeed. Because of that, we are...
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, we're a little bit delayed, but today we get to do the Gen 8 starters, Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. So first thoughts. We knew each other when these games came out, so we were all talking and stuff like a little bit. Because the server existed. This was only like, what, 5 years ago.
4.5 years ago at this point, yeah.
So, again, Pokemon games need to stop coming out so fast, but we've been over that like a bajillion times at this point. So for a couple of generations, like when I was actually paying attention to new generations coming out, like when I first saw the Gen 6 starters and the Gen 7 starters, I was like, it took me a little bit to like sort of sort them into like, oh yeah, these are Pokemon in this kind of like, I kind of get it, you know? But then, like, when these guys showed up, when that first appearance came out and they were like running around and you saw them doing all their stuff, immediately I was like, oh my god, yes, these are Pokemon. And like it helps that we were shown them moving around. I adored them immediately. Like all three of them are very excellent. I had like as soon as I saw Scorbunny, I knew that one was the one I was gonna pick. But I love all of them.
I'm going to say something that a lot of Pokemon fans are going to come after me for. I love the art style of the in-battle models in Gen 8.
I think that Sword and Shield look good. I think that they look polished as hell, except for like parts of the wild area. I think that the textures look really nice. I think the lighting is pretty good. I think that it looks nice.
I really like the animation on all of the trainers and gym leaders.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, it's one of the games with the most character in the franchise.
Yeah, definitely. Like, one of the gym leaders takes a selfie with the giant ball before throwing it. It's such a cute animation, and they're all like that. All of the gym leaders have little quirks and little animations like that, and it's delightful. There's so much individuality to them.
I really, like, Sword and Shield are extremely flawed games. I don't hate them. I never have. I think that the gym puzzles are pretty fun. I think that the actual...
Gym puzzles are more fun than the ones in Gen 9, at least.
I mean, I don't dislike the ones in Gen 9 either. I think that most of them are fine. I think that the character, obviously the character writing is phenomenal. The actual like plot writing is not great, but the DLC is so good. Like if you only judge Sword and Shield based on like the main campaign, it is arguably one of the weakest main games in the series. But if you include Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, it's like night and day. Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra are so good, and like the entire like both of those areas are very like free roaming areas that have like a lot of character and a lot of interesting landmarks and stuff. And like the
wild area in Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra is what the wild area was promised to be when they revealed that they were doing that in the main game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the wild area in the DLC is fantastic.
It's not even really a wild area because like all of them is the entire thing is just wild area basically. Like it all operates under that, and you just go into towns and it's like right next to it and it's fine. And you can have your Pokemon running around with you and stuff, and it's great.
Yeah.
I think
you get to hang out with Penny's dad. So
and I will say that there is something that like one of the most divisive things, like most people agree, okay, the story writing is bad, the characters are good, but the actual routes that are not the wild area are very divisive, because on one level people hate them for being too linear, but one of my friends fucking loves them because they're so memorable. Like
there are like 3 or 4 really cool aesthetics for the routes in Sword and Shield that stand up to the best stuff in the series, and the rest of it is unmemorable and super forgettable.
I think that they all look nice. I remember both of the caves. I think both of the caves are pretty cool. I think it's kind of neat that they have like 2 different mines, one on each end. Of course, like Glimwood Tangle, fucking amazing.
Oh, that's so good. There's a reason they picked that for the 24-hour reveal stream.
Oh yeah, and like having a fairy forest is perfect for the region. The place where you find phalanx, like the ruins and stuff, and I think that's also the place where the fossil lady is. That place is really cool. I remember that place really well.
That is my least favorite of the really good areas.
And then I like all of the ice areas. I think that all of the ice areas are very, very solid. The water area, like the water and ice areas are like near the northern part of everything are pretty good. And I think that there's like some water areas like to the south, I think, but I might be getting mixed up. I think that oh yeah, like the island areas, like you can kind of like go out into like some places. No, I'm thinking of the DLC again. Whatever.
Yeah.
The DLC is so good. Isle of Armor was so good, and Crown Tundra arguably was like less cool, but it felt bigger in a lot of ways. Like because like the Crown Tundra is like less distinct because it's all like snowy, but it all feels like very cool, and you're like searching for everything, and I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, Crown Tundra has less variety, but there's more interesting stuff in it than Isle of Armor.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair.
I think that's why it's stronger.
I do like Isle of Armor, though. I think that the story there is actually really fun and really solid. Your little gym leader rival is great. Mustard
the
is
most
hilarious.
Annoying man in the world.
Wait, who?
Oh, what's the name of the male gym leader rival?
Avery.
Avery. Yeah, I hate Avery. He's so annoying.
I think that like he's extremely designed to specifically target me, so I think that he's funny. But like I played Sword, so I had Clara.
I like her a lot. I like her design.
I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
Like it was very funny because when she was like revealed, I had just gotten done with a Sapphire Nuzlocke where I had a Dustox. And I constantly was drawing it on my head exactly like how her hair clip looks. It was great. But anyway,
Wormhole Love is always good. Another point on the routes that I wanted to lay out in response to something you said. I don't think the problem with Sword and Shield's routes is necessarily that they're so linear. That's a problem, but I don't think it's the problem. I think the problem with Sword and Shield's routes is that they're super short.
That's fair, yeah.
Like if it was long and there was a lot of stuff on the way, the linearity would be forgivable. If it were complicated but short, that would be cool too. But it's linear and short, and that's a travesty.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that, yeah. I'm just like exploring some of them now, and I'm like, oh right, Route 4, where me and Teddy spent ages chasing rats and being chased by dogs. I remember. I was like immediately as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's where. Because it's like this cool little farm field. So like I have a lot of memories with this. Actually, I had forgotten about that. Oh my god,
that place made me hate Electrike so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they were actually running at us. We were just running around in the grass, basically.
Oh, no, like, they chase you down. They spot you, and they make a beeline for you, and you have to run around, or else they grab you. However,
I forgot if Pokemon appear on the overworld outside of the wild area. My memory's so bad.
Yeah.
My memory is so bad, you guys. Okay,
At least they're not Sharpedo.
yeah.
I liked Bede's little character arc. I like that
Bede
he
is
went
great.
from getting groomed
Hop
by
is
an awful
great.
guy to just being rescued by Grandma and was like, it's okay, you can be a little gay boy, and he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's great. I find Rose to be a fascinating character, but you have to read into, like, 4 lines of dialogue, and I just happen to be the person that he was, like, created for. Like, I happen to be the exact person who would dig into his lines of dialogue to, like, find all of the intrigue points. Because, like, look, you saw how I went crazy over Sephiroth, right? He was basically trying to be Shinra. Like the entire vibe of like Galar was like trying to be the Shinra Corporation. Yes, that does make Bede Sephiroth. Anyway,
Rose has a lot of potential to be an interesting character, but it's smothered under the fact that he's so fucking stupid.
he is very the fact that he's stupid is part of what makes him interesting to me. Like, that's a part of the layers. But anyway, we're here. We can talk about like the intricacies of how great Leon is as well later. We should talk about Grookey because I have not heard Teddy talk about it a lot, but I imagine that Teddy has some feelings about Grookey.
Funny drummer monkey, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I love all 3 of the starters. Like, Scorbunny is in my heart. He's my guy. He's my boy. I saw him immediately, and I was like, yes, I want to high-five that rabbit. But I love all of them. I want to like, I am the autism. Like, I totally see myself in the autism monkey. And the crying child I want to hug. It's like, it's good. It's good shit. Grookey is in New Snap, and he's great.
I wish Rillaboom was in New Snap. There was so much potential to put Rillaboom in the jungle stage, and they didn't.
Oh,
I'm surprised they didn't have a little set piece with a Pokemon concert or something.
Yeah, I mean, like, if they were gonna put Primarina in there anyway, like, I guess maybe they just thought that, like, the band would be too disparate of, like, biomes, and it would be kind of weird to do, but I feel like they could have made something happen. A lot of people don't like Thwacky. I've never understood that. I think Thwacky looks fine for a middle stage. I think he looks totally okay.
Thwacky's one of the middle stages that I'm just like, oh, that's just like a tweenager. Yeah, that makes sense.
The little banana boy.
I think he looks fine. He's a monkey. He reads as an in-between stage of Grookey and Rillaboom. He's got his headband, like he's got his little like head tie things. He's got his man bun basically.
I never actually noticed the man bun before.
Yeah, he's like... Go ahead.
I think my biggest problem with Thwacky's design is the wristbands. Because, like, with Grookey, he's got the orange hands and the green body. And, like, that's fine. It's orangey brown. It's a bit of a weird color combo, but it's not too clashing. But then with Thwacky, you've got the black arms and the vibrantly teal wristband into the bright orange hand, and I think it looks awful.
I don't... Well, first of all, he does have other green on him. It's in his man bun ponytail. When he takes his drumsticks out, you can see his little mohawk, and it's got the green, and that ties into... It goes into Rillaboom really well. I can see, like, that maybe he should not be as bright green, like the lime green is maybe not the right choice. But I don't hate it. I think that it works fine. Like, here, let me show you his little mohawk.
I feel like maybe they really should have just had his mohawk be in his primary, like, appeal art, because that looks a lot better than the man bun.
Yeah, I can definitely see that's kind of a problem, but like, I think that he looked good, but I honestly really like him. Like, looking at him more, especially in that art, I'm like, yeah, this is a fun little monkey guy. I would argue that,
go ahead, sorry.
Like, maybe his legs should match his arms.
Oh,
like,
I agree with that, definitely.
This is a Sonic the Hedgehog design conundrum.
Kind of, yeah. But, like, I like maybe give him like a belt and make his like lower half match his arms. Like that might work, but that might be overcomplicating him a little. I don't know.
This is a Tetsuya Nomura design conundrum.
How many belts? How many straps is too many straps?
I think you raise an interesting point that to make him interesting would require overcomplicating him. And when we get to Gen 9, I have some things to say about Skeledirge that we'll get to next time.
I still disagree with you so heavily on that, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
The thing I found so interesting around the reveal of the base forms of the starters is that a lot of people made a lot of speculations about what Grookey would evolve into and what it would look like. And then gay men I followed on Twitter made speculations, and almost every gay man I knew on Twitter was like, "Oh, this is a British punk drummer. Okay, yeah, it's going to be a British punk drummer, you guys." And other people were like, "What are you talking about?" And then guess what? It's a British punk drummer.
I mean, like most people saw it drumming on stuff with sticks and like, okay, this is going to be a drummer kind of guy. But like nobody was really sure like what vibe they were going to go with. Like, were they going to go Ringo Starr on us or what? But I feel like Rillaboom needs more colors. That's like my own personal thing. I also feel kind of weird. Like,
I don't think it needs more colors. I think it needs to use the orange of its mouth more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like the orange needs to be on more stuff. So, like,
I think the colors it has are just right. They just need to be rearranged a little.
Oh, hey, they gave him a belt.
They did give him a belt, yes. I love his Gigantamax form, but we can get into that in a second. Does he, like... So, like, I remember when people were like, first drawing Gajinka art, right? People were like, if you make the Grookey line black and you don't make any of the other ones black, you're being a racist. And I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah,
but, like, Rillaboom has an afro, right?
That's kind of right. That's a rock and a hard place situation, because that would be a really rad character design for a black Gajinka. But it's a monkey.
Yeah, I think Rillaboom's
you can't do that.
I think Rillaboom's just meant to have big hair in general, which can very easily be read as afro textured. I don't think it's explicitly meant to be an afro, because the Japanese design perspective of a character with an afro is very much more round than Rillaboom's.
That's fair, yeah.
True.
I hadn't thought. Wait, but who designed these? We've got like
that's true.
We've got like Western designers.
Now they've got Ultra Beast guy designing stuff.
Yeah, so let me actually see here. Trivia.
But yeah, there's definitely that stumbling point of people who are like, yeah, this looked great as like person of color, and then a bunch of people are like,
drummers. I hadn't thought about that.
Oh yeah, his moves that involve him drumming do have him pull out a taiko drum.
I hadn't thought about like the taiko aspect of that. I forgot that Japan does have like, very specific drum culture with like a punk aesthetic as well.
I am a little torn on the drum prop that Rillaboom uses, because there's something about it that just feels unnecessarily extraneous. But that makes me a hypocrite, because Tinkaton is my second favorite Pokemon of all time.
So here's the thing. Tinkaton always has her hammer.
Yeah.
Like no, here's the thing. Tinkaton's always got her hammer out. But Rillaboom just fucking pulls the drum out of nowhere. He's got like a pocket dimension that he pulls it out of, and it feels kind of weird for him to just like have this random ass drum pulled out of somewhere.
And the design of the drum
like
does feel a little bit strange.
The drum is also like a little simplistic. It's like a little simplistic. But then the full drum set for Gigantamax Rillaboom,
yeah, that's great.
Beautiful, phenomenal, fantastic.
Twisted and gnarled and weird. It's great.
And the hair turning into like tentacles to bang more drums. Like, yes, perfect. No notes. Absolutely phenomenal.
I would just describe them as prehensile hair, not as tentacles. That makes it weird.
I have a character who has a prehensile scarf that I refer to as tentacles all the time because she can make more. So
like, a Sylveon, basically.
Yes, actually, I associate her heavily with it. She's even got the fairy type vibes of like, I am adorable, murders in the background.
So after funny drummer, we've got funny football player.
I fucking love this rabbit. I love this rabbit.
Score Bunny. I'm kind of iffy on Cinderace and Raboot, but I love Score Bunny.
I am a Raboot defender. Raboot is every middle schooler's OC.
Raboot is phenomenal.
Raboot would
is
wear
the platonic ideal of a middle stage evolution. It is perfect.
Raboot would wear a Naruto headband if it could.
He would. But like Scorbunny, I saw it like rubbing its nose like a fucking shonen protagonist with this little bandage on its nose and running around playing soccer, and I'm like, this one, I want that one right there. And I got a plushie of it that I still have somewhere in my room, and he's freaking great. I love him.
I love the combination best. Score and Scorch pun.
Yeah.
It's great. It's so good.
As a fire type fan, Scorbunny is one of my favorite little guys in the entire franchise.
He is such a good little guy.
He's also kind of the platonic ideal of the Sword and Shield art style.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's so like, okay, so I watched a lot of this show called Yin Yang Yo, so I have this like attachment to like very simple rabbit designs with like these big ears. They're like only sort of attached to their head. And he feels very much like a cartoon character that he can work in like any scenario, but he works perfectly as a Pokemon as well. It's perfect. He's one of the best little designs I've ever seen for anything. He's so good.
This is not meant as an insult. I feel like you could just put Scorbunny mostly unchanged in a fucking like Sonic the Hedgehog setting, and everyone would just nod politely.
You absolutely could. You 100% could. It's so perfect. He's just a perfect little guy, and I love him.
And talking about man buns, I love that his ears are like kind of tied up.
They are, yeah. He's got like a little ponytail because he's tying his hair back for sports. I love that for him. He's great. And like Raboot's got like his hairband pushed back, and it's like, yes, it's like I love his little hoodie with his like pulled up collar, like an anime. He really is just like an anime kid, and I love him for that so much. He's perfect in every way.
I do think it's a little odd that Scorbunny has perky ears, Raboot has droopy ears, and Cinderace has perky ears again.
Well, it makes sense because he's the edgy teenager.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Cinderace, I feel like its official art does not do it a ton of justice. I feel like if you see it in action in the anime, or like even just like standing its model, I think that it's like animations are very cool and very like, it's got this very interesting blend of cute and cool, and it's very huggable in the anime, which is very cool.
Yeah, the official art with like the weird perspective with the foot out and the other foot on the ground, and like the distance.
I'm looking at that on Cerebi. That's awful.
Yeah, but the sprite itself looks great. The sprite looks like a little Digimon, but that's good. I like Digimon.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like this generation of Final Starters because they just look like people in costumes, and I'm like, no. First of all, who cares? Second of all, it doesn't.
Like
I mean, it kind of does.
Like you could put Cinderace in Digimon and call it something like, you know, Scoremon or something, and I'd just nod and be like, cool, nice. And it's good in Pokemon too. There's definitely areas where Pokemon and Digimon design acceptability overlap, and Cinderace is fun. I like him.
I think that like arguably the like crown thing it's got going on is a little weird, and like maybe its pants could be different.
You mentioned the crown thing, and now I can't stop looking at it.
It's even more stark on the shiny, where it's gray and orange contrast.
I like its athletic jogger pants.
Yeah.
I like its little like harness that it's got on its chest with like its sleeves and stuff. I think it's really I really like its colors. I don't like its shiny very much. The gray is.
I love Scorbunny's shiny. It looks so good, and I hate Raboot and Cinderace's shinies because of the fur tone.
Yeah, I feel like they could have made it 2 shades darker. It would have been totally fine. Anyway, I fucking love Gigantamax Cinderace. It is the greatest thing ever. Its official art
Ball.
again, just it's just a large ball, and you can't see how fucking cool the Kamina pose is with the badass long ears. But like, it's so good. It's so cool. I love like the long hair ears trope in general, and like that's the only thing that changes about him except for the big ball, and I love that. He goes back to floppy ears, which is very fun. It like the alternates. I like that.
And then we've got the third starter, Secret Agent.
It's very interesting. Everyone was expecting like a water ghost banshee type guy, and he went into secret agent mode instead. And like we should have probably seen that because he turns invisible, right? But like nobody was really expecting it because like so much focus was put on the crying shit and stuff.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was weird.
Its tears are tear gas. Huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
It does have that power.
Its tears are said to be
Oh,
as
yeah,
potent as 100 onions and can cause anyone near it to start crying uncontrollably, which will use as a distraction to escape.
Huh.
That's
yeah,
actually,
that's
so
that's the Pokedex entry. Huh.
That's actually pretty cool. That's actually really cool. I've always like Sobble is great. I never would like say anything bad against Sobble, but I was always kind of like a little bit weirded out by that because there's a lot of cool things that you could do with like a water ghost lizard guy, but no, like the basilisk lizard that can walk on water and like has chameleon vibes and can turn invisible and stuff. I like being a secret agent. That's really cool, actually.
You know what's weird
Sobble
about
is-
Sobble? The
What?
number of people who say, "Oh, Sobble must be one of Laura's favorite Pokemon" because they apparently think it's a frog.
It has amphibian vibes, but it's not it's a lizard.
Yeah, it's a
It's
lizard.
mostly like
It's a
it
little
has it
reptile
looks
guy.
like it looks kind of squishy, but
It does look kind of squishy.
But that's because it's a water type.
Yeah.
And then Drizzile feels very forgettable, but I do like its design. I just regularly forget
I think the
it
Drizzile
exists.
is great, honestly. Like the green hands and feet are kind of weird, but like other than that, I think it works totally well as a middle stage. I think a lot of people think that it's ugly or whatever, but like nah, man, it's just an awkward teenager.
Oh, or is
There's
it meant to
nothing
be
wrong with
pronounced drizzle, like the word?
No, I think it's supposed to be Drizzile like reptile.
I thought it was maybe drizzle like missile.
Huh.
Oh.
Maybe.
I think it's just supposed to... Yeah.
'Cause it shoots water.
It's shiny, by the way. Drizzile's shiny. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I like Sobble shiny too.
Yeah, and Inteleon also looks pretty good. But like making it a full like scene kid, I feel like maybe they should have just gone with that. Like maybe the green was a bad idea. But like I think that it works fine. It's got like kind of nerd hair. It's kind of got like nerd vibes. It's like the nerd that you bullied in school, and now he's gonna become a secret agent and have like do the fucking copy pasta at you. And I think that that's just neat. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because like the frill that Sobble has kind of goes away. It like looks different on Drizzile, and like it comes back on Inteleon. So it kind of like. So it's possible that like that's one of the reasons like some people like don't vibe with it as much. Like maybe people notice that and they don't realize that they noticed that.
A lot of
Yeah.
up and
But,
down
like,
up in this set of starters.
It's true. It's true. And then Inteleon looks fucking badass. It's just good. I love its like stealth cape that it's got like a wingsuit. I love the literal finger guns. That's fucking brilliant. It's amazing. Like it's got its like cool jumpsuit. It's got like the cool eyes and the long tail, and like the tail turns into a sniper platform in Gigantamax.
Yeah, when it Gigantamaxes, it
Brilliant.
becomes a Fortnite sweaty and makes a tower, and then
I mean,
think-
like my first association with snipers is TF2 every time because I don't play a lot
Team
of
Fortress
a lot
2
of games.
is such a good cast of incredibly memorable characters that I have seen illustrated making out so many times.
It's true. It's true. I try to avoid that. Mostly, I got into the lore parts of it for reasons of one of them is a father of the other one, which is fascinating.
Oh yeah.
And I and I just find that, like, you know me with my issues. Anyway,
Scout would be more disappointed that Spy was his father because that would make him part French than because Spy was banging his mom.
I feel like both parts would be applicable. Mostly, he just thinks that Spy is an asshole.
So Inteleon is my least favorite of the three. And I think it's one of the worst cases of that's just a dude in Pokemon.
I don't agree, just because I like how spindly he is. Like, he does not, like, the other two have much more, like, human-ass proportions. This guy looks like a lizard that is lizard to me. He looks
I'd
like...
argue Rillaboom does not have that's just a guy going on. That's a gorilla.
I have seen...
Gorillas are just guys!
I have seen far less people drawing themselves in the proximity to Inteleon romantically than I have any other humanoid Pokemon.
Well, I mean,
so
like,
I would say Inteleon
circles...
isn't an egregious example of just a guy, because it's not just
See,
a guy enough
thing.
for people to want to kiss him. IMO.
See, here's the thing, Teddy. You go to very specific circles. Most people see this as a woman.
Oh,
really?
Oh, I can see it. Oh, you go,
Yeah.
girl.
I guess I can
Damn.
see it. I've always processed Inteleon as a dude. Oh well.
I mean, like, it's a genderless individual for me. Like, its gender is Spy, in my opinion. But it's got, like, the cocked hip and everything, and, like, it kind of has, like, a hairstyle. Like, the people who want to quote-unquote, go out with this thing are not the same kind of people who want to go out with Cinderace or Rillaboom. It's a different subset of people in circles that you don't go to, Teddy. I have, like, it's not that I think that it probably is slightly less popular, but, like, not a ton less. I have seen plenty. Like, people do think of this as just a guy, but, like, for me, it looks very much just like a cartoon lizard. You could put this in a lot of cartoons, and it would just be a cartoon
Put this in
lizard.
Pink Panther.
Yeah, honestly,
Kinda,
yeah.
Yeah, I think Inteleon's a fun design. I do feel like maybe drummer, football player, and then Spy is a kind of weird set. Inteleon feels like the odd one out. But that's okay.
I think that it works just because it's like, what are the three things that you associate with the UK? It's the Beatles, it's soccer, football, and it's James Bond. And, like, yes, absolutely, you've covered all three of those things.
I simply do
Beatles
not
and,
think
like,
about the
punk
Beatles
music.
or James Bond.
I mean, like, the average person, like,
Yeah.
and, like, maybe if you don't think about the Beatles, then maybe you think about, like, British New Wave music, which is closer to what Rillaboom kind of is.
So, what gen was it when the Pokemon devs decided that the best option would be to have all the starters be offensively focused? Was it Gen 7? Because I think Chesnaught is defensive in Gen 6, right?
Yeah, the thing about Gen 7 is that all of them are kind of slow, and, like, Primarina's kind of defensive, but, like, in the bulky water sense, where she's still kind of, like, can do offense as well. Actually all three of the starters in Gen 7 are kind of tanky, because, like, they're slow and they're kind of more, like, well balanced. Like, Incineroar is incredibly insane, not because he does damage, it's because he's got, like, a huge support move pool, and he's tanky as hell because of Intimidate, and because he already has, like, naturally good defenses. So honestly, I
guess
feel
it
like
was Gen 8 then.
yeah, like, Gen 8, all of the starters are very offensively focused. But, like, in Gen 9, I don't know if in Gen 9, they're not really all offensively focused. Like, Skeledirge is mostly a tank.
Skeledirge
Like,
has the best offensive move in starter history.
Yes, but like his goal is also to be unkillable so that he can stack his buffs forever. Like
Well,
like that
yeah,
like
but he's still stacking buffs. The intended gameplay loop for Skeledirge is to attack.
kind
And
of
attack,
like
and attack, and attack.
it kind of look, I've had to fight this goddamn thing so many times, and the issue with it is not how much damage it does. Like, it does a lot of damage, but the reason that it does a lot of damage is because it sticks around forever. It's tanky as shit. It has a type that it, like, is immune to a lot of stuff. You can't, like, burn it or anything. You have to poison it if you want to do damage. And it's got rest, so, like, you can't... It doesn't matter.
Skeledirge gets rest?
I'm pretty... Yeah, most
I guess if
get
it's going to take a siesta, that's the Pokemon that it would work out for, but... Huh.
So, like, its hidden ability is unaware. Like, we shouldn't get into this because this is for the next episode. But, like, its hidden ability is unaware, which means that you can't boost to get over it. And it ignores your defense boosts. So, like, Skeledirge is insane. Like, it's arguably the best starter of that. Like, and this is the starter trio that includes, like, fucking Meowscarada.
Yeah.
So, like...
Who has the second best offensive move in starter history.
Yeah, and, like, Meowscarada... Well, let's not get into this. Let's talk about, if we're going to talk about offensive... If we're going to talk about, like, competitive stuff, let's talk about Cinderace, who was Meowscarada before Meowscarada. Because
Was Pyramble that good? Did Pyramble have any secondary effects?
It's just a 120 base power move that has 100% accuracy. You know, casually. And I'm.
Oh yeah,
it's got 90% accuracy. Excuse me. Huh. But yeah, it's double edged with no recoil. It's very powerful
and
it's
fire
got
type, which is very useful.
Yeah, and it's got Libero. Before and this is the generation before they changed Protean and Libero to only happen once. So
Thank God they made it only happen once.
Yeah, so it has a bunch of funky support moves, but mostly it just can be whatever damage type you need, and and Libero's just really good. But then there's Rillaboom. Then there's Rillaboom who.
That it gets stabbed with everything, no matter what type it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is nuts.
That's the one where it changes type when it uses a move.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
the move that it has.
Wait, how's that different from Protean?
It's the same. It
it's
just
the
has
same.
a different name.
Oh, okay.
It's just named differently because Protean has different has
flavor
vibe.
reasons.
Yeah. That happens frequently in Pokemon. I choose not to get mad at it. But despite how good Cinderace is, Rillaboom is better. Rillaboom is terrifying.
Rillaboom wrecked competitive. It's still used in Gen 9 competitive, right?
Yeah, Grassy Glide is less of a thing, from what I understand. But Grassy Glide and Hit was the big thing. It was now Grassy Glide was not a move for a little while, but now it is. I think at the same time that it became a thing. But
Grassy Surge was also nuts from what I'm aware.
Yeah, Grassy Surge plus Grassy Glide means that it just has access. It just immediately has access to a 110 base power
priority move.
Priority move.
Grassy Glide is priority on grassy terrain? That's nuts.
So originally So I thought that it got a power boost as well, but no. What happened was in Gen 8 it was 70 base power, making it the best priority move in the game. And then in Gen 9 they downgraded it to 60, and then a version later they were like, no, that's not enough. It's 55 now. They further nerfed it. In 2.0.1, they were like, no. The gorilla is
I
still
didn't realize
they
did competitive balancing in Gen 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing that, which is wild. They changed the stats on Zacian and Zamazenta as well.
Did it work?
Yes, actually. A very large part of Zacian's appeal was actually the fact that it hit Dynamax Pokemon double. And that's not a thing anymore, so it doesn't have like a niche. It also like they changed it so that Intrepid Sword only works one time. It doesn't happen every time it switches in, it's only the first time, which is crazy. And so they lowered its attack by 20 entire points in Gen 9. So that's wild that they did that. But yeah, so actually Zamazenta is better than Zacian right now.
Huh.
Because of that, its ability Dauntless Sword or Dauntless Shield is better because it's not like even if it just comes in once, like it wants to stick around. So like it keeps that defense boost. And the thing about the defense boost is that there's this move that you may have heard of called Body Press that it gets stab from.
That it now gets?
Yeah, and like Body Press, like because Intimidate doesn't affect that damage.
Yep.
Because it's defense based. Whereas like with Zacian, it got around Intimidate because it got the boost from just coming in, and you could switch it out, and it could keep getting the boost, so you could play around Intimidate. But now it only works once, and everybody else can have the clear amulet, which gets around Intimidate by itself. So it doesn't have that niche anymore.
I have fond memories of using Darkspawn, Ability Shield Darkspawn Body Press on the Charizard raid early on.
Yeah.
It was really sick and disgusting and evil of them to not give Zamazenta Body Press and Sword and Shield.
Did the move come out in that game?
Yeah,
I had forgotten.
It was already out. It was already in the game.
Yeah, that is very, very rude.
They just didn't give it to the legendary that would make the most use out of it.
That is sad. That's very sad, yeah. Body Press is a fun move, though. I love that. Like, it's just such a fascinating move.
I like alternate stat uses, and Body Press is a pretty cool one.
Mm-hmm. It just didn't have it. That's so funny. That's so sad and so funny. The poor thing. That's so ridiculous.
This move originated as a TCG attack. Huh.
Well, that's
yeah,
cool.
that actually makes sense. A shocking number of TCG attacks eventually make their way into the game. Like, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but we kind of like blazed through that. We were like remarkably on topic today,
Yeah.
Like shockingly so. So I guess we can talk a little bit more about Sword and Shield's story if you guys want.
Well, I have a question real quick. I'm looking at Rillaboom's moveset, and a bunch of the moves have 101 accuracy. Is there a mechanical reason for that? Is that just to denote that its accuracy can't drop or something, or what?
That might be like a Cerebi thing, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, same.
Weird.
I'm on...
I mean,
Weird.
Sword and Shield, I feel like... I've probably said this before, but it feels like recent Pokemon games, you can tell what they were prioritizing when they were developing the game.
Mm-hmm.
In Sword and Shield, they were prioritizing some mechanical overhauls. They were prioritizing character animations for the trainers, and they were prioritizing like interesting characters and character arcs. The story was just kind of a throwaway secondhand thoughts, and some of the graphical and Foley presentation also kind of fell to the side. There's not too much to really say about Sword and Shield's story.
I mean,
I
we
more
can
meant the
dissect
character
problems
stuff.
with it, like the fact that it's so
I more
hand-holding.
meant the character stuff. Like, I wanted to talk about Hop again.
Hop's
because
a good character, and the people who hate him him because the game is hand-holding, not because he's a bad character.
Yes. I, like, Hop's fucking mechanics-based arc, Pokemon doesn't fucking do that very often. Like, when it does, it really hits. Like, the Crobat stuff with villains and things. When Silver finally gets his, I'm gonna have to edit that out, my mom was yelling something. The mechanic stuff where you see Silver's Golbat finally evolve into Crobat when he starts trusting his Pokemon, when you see that Maxie and Archie have the trust of their Pokemon enough to have Crobats, and like the same thing with the Gyarados and Crobat that Cyrus has. He has 2 of them. He has 2 Pokemon that require a significant investment. And, like, you can catch Gyarados in the wild most of the time these days, but, like, still, even at that point, it was pretty rare to do. And it's the same thing with, like, Guzma, his ace being a Gyarados type is... So, like, when Hop shows up and he's dropped his sheep, that he called his partner, is, like, his first guy, and he's not using it, and he's using, like, a bunch of other stuff. He's, like, trying out a bunch of other stuff, and he's, like, visibly depressed. You're like, God damn. And then when he brings back his bird and his sheep after he finishes figuring out who he is, I genuinely was, like, so excited for him. Yeah, and then he can Gigantamax his bird. It's so good.
You mentioned Gyarados. Was there anywhere in Gens 1 through 4 where you could find wild Gyarados? I can't think of any places. Like,
I think in Gen 4 there might have been. Let me see. But it would have been, like, late game.
Yeah.
I think you could find them in, like, the marsh. In, like, the Great Marsh. In, like, Diamond and Pearl. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, I think you could fish them up with a super rod or something. I think I'm remembering that from a Let's Play that I watched. I am looking. So, yes, you can find them in the... Okay, so you can fish them up in yellow with a super rod in Fuchsia City, which that's like the tiny pond. So I think that might be a joke. I'm not sure.
Hang on, I'm gonna look at Gyarados' locations in.
Yeah, that's what
Saturday.
I'm looking at right now. You can find them in the Lake of Rage, and again in Fuchsia City. So, like, but, like, again, it's with higher level rods and stuff. In Ruby and Sapphire, you could Super Rod in Sutopolis.
That would make
Super
sense.
Rod in Fire Red and Leaf Green. And then in Diamond and Pearl was in the Great Marsh. And then you can find, with the Good Rod. Like, mostly it's the Super Rod, but in the Great Marsh with the Good Rod, in Diamond and Pearl only, you could catch Gyarados.
Fuchsia City is in Gen 1 is yellow specific, so it may have been referencing... Was it Fuchsia City that the giant Gyarados attacked in the anime?
That was like the... I don't remember. I don't remember if they got to Fuchsia City after, like, the shipwreck thing happened. But, like, I think it might just be, like, a joke based on the fact that the one place you can fish is, like, a pond. It's, like, one pond. And, like, you could find Magikarp in there and, like, nothing else originally. So, like, one of it... Well, no, I guess you could find Poliwag there. Fuck, I don't know. I got nothing. It's just a thing they decided to do. It's level 15 Gyarados with the Super Rod.
That's illegal.
I didn't know that with Super Rod you caught level 15 stuff in Red, Blue, and Yellow. These games are balanced so poorly. Oh my god.
I mean, the multiplayer of it was added at the last moment. At least battling was, so, you know.
That's wild.
Yeah, Pokemon
wild.
Red and Green were conceptualized as a single-player RPG, and you could find monsters and trade them between your friends to, like, help each other in the game, basically. Combat...
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, combat wasn't really added between players until the very end.
That's
wild.
That's crazy.
That explains some shit, but that's wild.
And they've been trying to make up for the balance issues ever since.
Yeah, like, immediately in Gen 2, Super Rod was level 40, guys. Like, Good Rod was level 20. So, like, the Good Rod stuff you could catch in Gen 2 was higher level than the stuff you could catch with the Super Rod.
The weirdest thing is
in
that
Red,
there's
Blue, and
still
Yellow.
people that play Gen 1 competitively, and there have been upsets in the meta scene of it.
Oh, that's always fun. It's when you find out that an old metagame was actually like super broken by this one thing that nobody saw.
When they discovered
like,
that normal types couldn't be paralyzed by like body slam, the metagame changed. It was very funny.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
Yeah, they coded it. They coded it. From what I'm aware, the reason that works is because normally the only things that could paralyze or burn or freeze were moves of the type that were immune to paralysis, burn, and freeze. So instead of coding immunity to burn into fire types, they coded in immune to status ailments from same type moves.
Yep.
And that covered everything, saving code space.
Yep. It's great.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
And
that's amazing.
That made Tauros super good, right?
I don't remember the specifics, but I think so.
I imagine like Tauros and Snorlax were probably the big ones.
I think Snorlax was always good, but that's because it's, Snorlax.
Yeah. I would have thought that Tauros was good, but like I guess I don't know. Like I might just be biased because I think Tauros is
Pretty sure
cool.
Tauros is present in OU, yeah. Or at least was.
I thought you said Nintendo Wii U. Like I was very confused.
You've heard of OU,
and that's why I laughed.
PU, UU, get ready for Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah, I was very confused for a second, which is why I giggled. But I was actually I was just reminded because of that of the video from Jaywitz about like the first like competitive format of Pokemon, the trading card game, and how like they were like there was like a random event that where a completely unbeknownst to anybody else stall strategy became like known about because of a budget deck. like somebody built a budget version of like a normal deck, and it turned out that the budget option for stall was actually better.
The Wild West of 1998 trading.
And you cannot forget Mulligan Mewtwo.
Oh, is that one where it was 4 Mewtwo's and 56 Psychic Energy?
Yes.
Because in those days you got to mulligan for free until you had a Pokemon, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
and then
I remember that being the rule when I played.
And then if you were down to just one card, that was fine, because the next turn you got Psychic Energy.
Man, the Wild West of 1998 TCGs, Magic hadn't even figured out balance by then. I don't think the concept of curving out, like a mana curve in Magic or a curve in other TCGs, had actually been figured out in 1998. I think that was a later deal. So the chaos of value in base set 1 would have been insane.
Yeah. So the card in question, right? So the main stall his stall guys originally were Chansey and Mr. Mime, which, makes sense. Chansey's got a ton of HP. Mr. Mime has an ability that makes it so that he can only take 20 damage at once. Like he can't, like if you do more than 20 damage, he takes no damage.
Well, that's broken in the context of
but
base set 1.
Yeah, he only has 40 HP, so you only have to hit him twice. But most things can't hit him, and you can take it. And there's and then I think there was an Alakazam that could swap damage.
Damn, I didn't know Shedinja debuted in
wonder.
the TCG before the games.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wonder how they implemented Shedinja later.
I don't actually know either. I'll have to look. But the better stall card was Lickitung over Chansey. So Chansey had a move where it could like sometimes not take damage, and then it had like I don't even remember what the other move that it had was.
I think it was
required
soft-boiled.
I don't remember if it could heal itself. Hold on, I'm about to check. I'm about to check base set 3 Chansey. No, it had an attack it had an attack that could deal damage, but it also did recoil. So nobody used that. But you had to attach a double colorless to Chansey to use its scrunch attack. That was a coin flip if heads prevent damage. Whereas Lickitung, Jungle Lickitung had a 1 energy move that first of all did 10 damage, so it could hit other Pokemon, so it could hit other guys'
Mr. Mime, yeah.
Mr. Mimes, yeah. And it was flip a coin if heads paralysis.
Ooh.
And paralysis is kind of crazy in Pokemon. So like he had less HP than Chansey, but like you could still like move the damage around, and being able to like cripple your opponent instead of just like passively sometimes not taking damage is like way better. Like the issue is that Chansey is free retreat and this guy has 3 retreat, which is really bad, but there's so many cards that let you pick up. There's like super, so you got scoop up, you got gust of wind, you got switch. There's so many cards that let you just switch everything, and you can draw a million cards because you can use however many trainer cards you want, and it's like the pace of the game is so fast.
Man, love.
Even with all these stall strategies.
You must adore the fact that Roy League uses TCG art for everyone's Pokemon in the document.
It's great, yeah. I have not actually been into the Pokemon TCG lately, but I'm always like sort of aware of it on the side because I love it. It's the first Pokemon. It's like the first TCG where people were nice to me instead of constantly ragging on me because because kids play this game. Like you would go to meetups, and instead of a bunch of people like high school age and up who are telling you to get good and spend more money, it's a bunch of like 7 to 12-year-olds who are all just as broke. Yeah, who are all just as broke as you, and so you don't need to be like perfectly kitted out. You can come in there with your silly fairy grass like healing deck with like Wigglytuff and Serperior, and you can just chill. You can just do whatever you want. It's great. I appreciated that a lot. Yeah. Okay. So now we've gone for about an hour. So I think we've expressed enough content now. I think we're good to.
And we've got to get ready for the Stardew stream in a minute too.
Indeed. So I am. I have been obsessive reader love. I have a Tumblr that I'm trying to sort of clean up a little bit for the preparations of maybe like doing more things on it, but I don't know for sure, so I won't plug it too much. Just know that like I'm around. I'm working on Homestuck fan fiction at the moment. The chat fics are fun to write, but also kind of time consuming, but still fun. And character voice, it's a thing. Yeah. Lore, do you go ahead and plug all your stuff?
I have a Tumblr and a Twitch channel, loreweaver-universe.tumblr.com, where I live blog cartoons. My Twitch is twitch.tv/loreweaver15. I stream there live almost every day at 1 p.m. EST. I'm a variety streamer. If you're interested, I'm starting... Oh, wait, no, this is coming out at the start of next month, so it would be pointless to plug the game I'm about to do. Oh, well, never mind. I'm about to do Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, which will be on my YouTube, at Loreweaver on YouTube, by the time this goes up. Yippee. So check that out.
I don't know if you'll be done with it by the time that next month starts, but we'll find out. I don't remember when the game comes out.
It came out on the 23rd.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh.
It's been out for weeks now, yeah. I'm starting it on the 9th and going until the 15th.
Okay. I don't know how long the game is, so... Teddy, do you have anything you would like to plug?
All right. It is the summer of indie kart racers, ladies and gentlemen. Nightmare Kart came out the other day. Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers has been out for like a month. Play those games. They are free. Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers has so much content. Nightmare Kart looks baller as hell and seems really fun.
Are these
I
both
especially
built in
recommend Ring
the
Racers 'cause
Sonic
it's so
Kart
good.
Racer like engine thing?
Nightmare Kart is completely separate from Ring Racers. Totally
Okay.
unrelated, just happens to also be a kart racer that came out during this summer of indie kart gaming that I am declaring. Play those games. Play them.
Also, Teddy recently got me into his very long Homestuck podcast.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
I know it's his favorite very long Homestuck podcast. Excuse me. I said his because he is associated with it in my brain because he got me into it. I have not yet started the second episode, but that's fine because you probably haven't read ORV yet. Have you? Have you?
I've been packing to move, so.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And playing Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers.
Valid.
Worthwhile pursuits, both of them.
I've been playing Honkai Star Rail, which Lord does not think is an honorable pursuit, but I do. It's a good video game.
My friends seem really into it. It didn't.
The
quite
latest
grasp me.
the latest story climax was so fucking good. I might show you guys the cutscene later. It's very good.
We all know my opinions of gacha games, and I'll leave it at that.
I actually spent money on it a couple days ago.
You have fallen for their trap.
It's fine. It's like I have spent a little bit of money on it before, but at this point, like there's the current unit. I really want him. He's cool. He works really well with like a team type that I haven't had the chance to build yet. I did not like spend all of the money that I had to make sure that I got him. I just kickstarted my like pity meter by a little bit by spending like $50. It's a lot of it's like a solid amount.
$50.
I had 500 that I came into, and I was like, I can spend this money on something. I may as well spend this money on this.
I guess that's the cost of a retail game, approximately. So.
Yeah, I've got way more content than the average retail game. It's fine.
We all know my opinions of gacha games, and I won't belabor the point.
Yeah, I understand. Like, it's not like that's wrong. Like, I could have bought Thousand Year Door instead, but I decided that I wanted a cowboy. And that's my prerogative. It's my decision. The cowboy is cooler than Paper Mario. That's there. I said it. Anyway, this has been the Own Tempo Pokemon podcast. Teddy, do the thing.
Have fun. Stay safe. Be brave enough to be kind. Play Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers and get Pokemon.
Get Pokemon!
Bye, everybody.